I grew up in Italy and watched my aunt and mother getting dressed to go to the market in their clicky heels. They chose fresh seasonal ingredients and brought the ingredients home to make their meals. As a registered dietitian, I know that true Italian food is the healthiest, but I also know it's how they lived and how they ate their food too. How can a busy New Yorker live in Italian? I will show you how, and I will show you how to do it all in style. This is Living in Italian. Fiorella. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm going to show you how to cook Italian style in your New York City apartment. Today is going to be super fun because we're going to make a basic staple that's going to be super easy, full of healthy vitamins, and you're going to have it in your refrigerator at all times because it's very versatile, and I'm going to show you what to do with it. We're going to make a marinara sauce. Look at these beautiful tomatoes that we have, okay? So it is the fall, so we're going to start the tomato harvest. So as a girl, we would, and my mother, my sisters, we would get together and we would do a tomato harvest around September. We would jar our own tomatoes, which is actually really quite easy. And you can do that on your own, and you can see one of my other videos on jarring tomatoes as well. But if you don't have those tomatoes jarred, you can very easily buy some tomatoes in a can. Now, I don't mean tomato sauce, okay, because that has a lot of different additives in it. But I'm talking about just crushed canned fresh tomatoes. And the reason I prefer crushed rather than just, smooth tomato sauce is because it gives it more of a texture in the sauce, and it gives it more of that pulpy, natural feel. So you can go ahead and open up your can. And if you get some Marzano tomatoes, which are right off the slopes of the Vesuvius in Naples, they're a lot healthier because they're in the soil of the Vesuvius. Those tomatoes are grown, but they're kind of expensive. So you can definitely use a regular canned tomato, and it's the same vitamin content as you crushing your own tomatoes as well, so you're not losing out on that. So the first thing we're going to do is set that aside for a second. We're going to start our pan. And the reason I want you to make this sauce and to have it in your fridge at all times is basically you can definitely make pasta with it. But the other things you can do is you can also start to kind of stew some of your proteins in it, like chicken as well. You can make a nice cacciatore with this sauce as a base using chicken and or beef. Which I'll show you some of those recipes later. But for now, you can also just start here and add a little bit of olive oil at the end of the pan there. Now, the recipes differ on how to do this, but I'm going to do it my mother's way. And I'm going to get some crushed garlic. And you can crush your own garlic, of course, but this is also just as easy and just as simple for a busy New Yorker who wants to do this very quickly. Put as much garlic as you want. Again, we Italians don't do everything to a T when it comes to ingredients. We just go ahead and put what we like. I like a lot of chunky garlic in my marinara sauce, so it kind of shows through the sauce. So I go ahead and put that in. And a little bit of sea salt, of course. And then what we can do is we can cut up some fresh onions. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to keep it simple. Sometimes also I cut up some fresh fennel and I put it in the sauce as well. But that we're going to save for another time. We're going to stick to the basics today. So here we are. We're just going to have that kind of like work around itself for just a little bit in that pan. Looks fairly pretty. I'm just going to kind of hold that up for you. All of the action going on in there. I like some peperoncino in my marinara sauce, even though technically it shouldn't be in there per se, but I do like it. It just gives it a little bit more of a kick. It's not exactly spicy, but it's just a bit hotter. Now, after that's going for a little bit more, just let the flavors absorb each other. You want to go ahead and splash this gorgeous red color of tomato right in there, right? Just beautiful. Watch the splatter. Go slow, because I've done this many times, and sometimes the splatter can read really like a horror movie in here. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of stir that. And we're going to lower the heat to kind of low, to where it's just going to simmer and take its time to just kind of like, just kind of stew and stew and stew and make a nice sauce. So this is a really slow cook over time. Now, again, this can also be the basis of what we know as our Sunday sauce. And we can go ahead and put meatballs in this, and we can put different meats in there to stew slow cooked. So this would be the beginnings of that, but I'll show you that at another time. So here again, we're going to go ahead and just have this cook literally no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Then you can wrap this up and keep it in your refrigerator for 7 days and it won't go bad. And every time you're making some vegetables, you can Parmigiana your vegetables. And what do I mean by that? Parmigiana includes the marinara sauce and some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese over top of it, just like an eggplant Parmigiana. But what I'm asking you to do is you can Parmigiana the rest of your vegetables too. You can do broccoli Parmigiana or Brussels sprout Parmigiana, even cauliflower Parmigiana, which is actually delicious. So that you can keep this as a staple in your refrigerator so that you can do all of those recipes with. I'm gonna go ahead and look at how beautiful that is. You see the chunks of garlic and the chunks from the tomato. As a matter of fact, if you want to grab a tomato to make the sauce even extra chunky as we go along, we get some great ideas. I just thought of this right now. We're going to go ahead and just chop a fresh tomato in it so it's even chunkier. You can get plum tomatoes, vine tomatoes, and again, if you get your hands on some San Marzano tomatoes, you're even luckier. So we're going to go ahead and just chop those really quickly. You don't have to worry, a rough chop is great. We do peasant food in Italy, so things don't have to be perfect and Martha Stewart-like. Okay, so it's going to be really easy. You're going to get a little dirty in here, and that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and just chop those up, and it's going to give that sauce even more and more chunky texture as we go along. Now, at the end, as this is finishing up, and about 10 to 15 minutes have gone by, you can go ahead and taste it and see if you feel like it takes a little bit more salt in there. I think that would be good. Sea salt and a little bit more olive oil as well. I can see that going there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to throw in even more garlic. There we go. So super chunky, chunky, chunky marinara sauce. Now, right before you're taking it off the stove is when you hit it with some beautiful fresh basil, just right off the top. You don't want the basil to cook in the sauce. You just want it to give it its aroma, give it its fragrance. So you just top this off just like that. You give it, check, that's gorgeous. You give that a quick stir and then take it off the heat just like that. Now, we're going to get a spoon here and you're going to see how gorgeous this is. And I have just some pasta ready here just so that you can see what it's going to look like and how chunky it's going to look. There we are. That's beautiful. And that is just a classic marinara sauce that's very versatile for you to have. And you can see those chunks in there. And of course, I'm going to hit it with some Parmigiano Reggiano as well. Some good quality. There we are. And we've done it. We've made a mess, but we've made it delicious.